All right, I think we're good. Hello. Um, I know it's been a while since I recorded a video. Nevertheless, uploaded a video. I'm using a lavalier microphone, just a cheap one. Actually for my phone, but it hasn't been working for some reason. The camera's not registering the microphone, so I'm trying to get an adapter to work. I bought this, but it didn't end up working. Yeah, long story short, I want to use this for now instead of the regular Siren X microphone that I usually use for my sit downs, and I want to kind of do a more casual sit down, low angle. Hope the audio is good. Guys, let me know. Okay, let's begin. So, firstly, I apologize for not uploading for I don't know, like 9 months now. It's been a while. And yeah, I apologize. I guess things get in the way, and 1 month turned into a few months, and a few months turned into more months, and it's bleeded into 2026. So let me just start with where I've been. I've been here, same place, just doing event work, still attending Iman's events. I'm still a concurrent member in Digital Launchpad. I think I should be an emperor by now, but I need to check. Honestly, I've not viewed the content in a while, so maybe I need a refresh. Content wise, haven't been doing much, except when I do go to YouTube, I am uploading kind of just videos, random videos to kind of clear storage. That's been something that I've been doing recently, since July. I guess that's kind of why I'm picking this up now. But also, it's the anniversary of my channel. It's been 3 years since I started this channel, and man, really, honestly, it's been more like 2 years or so of uploading. I know, like the last 9 months have just been dark, but I've been here. I've been here just self-managing, getting through the months. Let me just say, 2026, I've definitely taken a different pace with things. I paused on the agency. I wouldn't say I've given up on the agency, but I understand how this can kind of reflect, how my disappearance from YouTube has kind of reflected upon how that can, be parallel to how I go about everything else in my life. The saying, how you do anything is how you do everything. And I kind of half agree, I kind of don't half agree, but that's a topic for another day. But yeah, I understand how if I do disappear, it's never going to be formal. I'm never going to announce that I will go. I will never announce this, that. I just feel it's not needed. It's not necessary. And if I want to take a break, I'll just take a break. And yeah, again, I just want to sincerely apologize to anybody who do actually enjoys the content. I think there'll be a fair few, just a few, not a fair few, but a few. Again, like, let me just remind you guys, this channel is more like a digital diary to me. And while I do value you guys doing it, to me, it's more important to me to do it as like a just a way to document my life, to document my life and to look back on it and see when I started, where I was struggling, where I've come from, and to where I am now. this channel is simply a documentation and a timeline of that. And I wish I had taken more content and had the ability to record content through these past 9 months, because it's been interesting to say the least. But yeah, all to say, I paused on the business, so I haven't really touched, honestly, any business stuff related. I'm still consuming business content here and there, but for the most part, it's taking a back burner, and it's just for me to now kind of taking time to now work on my health, work on the fundamentals, work on these things. And now that it's been the 3rd anniversary of my channel, I feel like now is the right time for me to come back and put my foot back down and focus on my priorities and my career. That being said, is there anything else I need to cover? That being said, just to be quite frank with you guys, I've been playing games. Pretty simple. I'm not a big gamer as most people do. I don't have the facilities to do that. I just have my laptop and that works. I would love to have a PC, but I feel like I always wonder what that would do for my, just like what I would play, what I would do. And I'm kind of glad that whatever, I can't go haywire. I don't have the resources per se to like spend crazy on like Steam games and this, that. Honestly, I don't play Steam much. I just play basic games, Roblox. Keep it simple. That's been the thing that has grown on me and has got me through a lot of my life. Even if it was as a distraction, even when it wasn't helpful to me focusing in school. And when I use that, say, as a way to kind of distract myself from reality, when back then times were a bit harder for me and there was more pressure while I was in school and in education. Let me just kick my feet up. Get into the position here. Let you guys know that we are chilling. I don't want this to be too long. I expect this to be maybe like 30 minutes long, but I think we're getting through it now. So, yeah, that's where I've been. That's where I've been for the most part. Working on my sleep, catching up on event work, attending the events. That being said, still a lot of catch up I need to do. But I feel I have put business on a back burner, to be quite frank, and focused instead on socializing. I think 2025 kind of socially drained me. I think the whole year I took just talking to the same people. Not really much of like a networker personally, and I'm not a big fan of it either. I'm still not. That being said, I still helped a lot of people, and I still went through with a lot of people and stuck with people. I think time simply just drifts things away, and that's life. But by the end of the year, I kind of reset everything, and I just wanted to take that time to myself without any pressure, without any guilt about what I did, and just realize that I'm going at my own pace this year in 2026. So that's where I've been all the way up to now, just constantly battling with sleep as always. I feel like it's more or less stable now, which is great. I feel great. I have a bit more pressure on my back. It says 6 months left to the year, and I feel like since it's Q3 now, and there's Q3 and Q4 left, there's just this pressure, just this pressure. I'm 19 now, guys. I'm turning 20 in a week on August the 8th. So that's what, like, I'm recording this on the 30th of July. That's 7, 8, 9, 10. Wait, 7, 8, 9. 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9 days. 9 days from now, I'm gonna turn 20, and I have priorities to myself and priorities to, I guess, a little bit of other people to clean up my act, to get my shit together, and just realize that I am responsible for my life and nobody else is going to save me. So yeah, that's just the epiphany I've had. I'm not sure if I want to do like a life lessons this year of recapping 2025, because I feel like maybe it's outdated, maybe things have changed, but I have a little just collation summary, the highlights of the main lessons that I learned from last year, which is here. I just have 5 here, so I'm gonna just go them through really quick, and then hopefully this video won't be too long and I won't have to do too many cuts. First learning lesson is just rigidity and fluidity. And what that means is, last year I really tried to hammer down on having this rigid schedule. Wake up at this time, get it done by this time, get to the desk by this time, calls here, this, that, availability. I set up structures, systems, everything. I did everything. But when it came to actually like following through, I will admit I struggled to follow through. And honestly, I feel like I need to just kind of get one like self-shaming video out just to show you guys like how my performance just dropped off, by just how it fluctuated throughout the year. Just for you guys to give a picture. I remember I made actionable goals, and I've yet to give you guys the final goal report on it. I feel like I should just make one final goal report, learning lessons, and then we can move forward from there. But 2025 taught me that rigidity is not going to force outcomes out of me if I don't have the fundamentals in place. And with learning that this year, that's why, and that's the reason for why I've become more fluid. I've become more adaptable. I've become kind of more spontaneous. And instead of trying to optimize decisions that aren't even good decisions in the first place, I just focused on making the good decisions first. So there was this one concept about decision fatigue, and how like, you gotta optimize everything, you gotta systemize everything, you gotta organize everything, so then you don't have to have a second thought about it. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what to think of that anymore. I don't think I really buy into it, and decision fatigue to me isn't. I think it's just a problem that maybe me and a lot of beginners, maybe you can resonate, don't need to worry about. Until you're actually overloaded with decisions, and it does matter for you to not have fatigue and optimize it. Until that happens, you should just focus on making good decisions, period. Like, it's the same thing with, instead of thinking about it and like trying to optimize something that isn't even there, you should start with the action, and then from that action you can then take those results and then optimize. It doesn't make sense to kind of do it in the inverse. It's counterintuitive. So that was my thinking process, and that's why 2025 was about rigidity. 2026 is more about fluidity, being adaptable, being malleable and just kind of seeing where life takes me. It's not something where I'm like a robot and I produce X amount of content and work and hours per day. Every day is different for me. Of course, I have a general structure, I still maintain that, but when it comes to doing the work and scheduling, that is a spontaneous decision for me. I can decide to shop for a little bit. I could decide to clean emails here, clear storage here. These things are examples of what I'm doing. I could choose to eventually goal set and clear up event work here, like at any moment. Again, I still hold a general structure, but during the day, it is up to me to decide what I want to do with my time. Next one, honestly, maybe not a lesson, but just a thought, a hypothetical, which is I kind of wish I had a job. Like, I know I like to say that like I have a job now that I'm self-employed, but to be honest, and you know, I have all the things to call that, yeah, I'm this, that, but like respectfully, I'm not making that much money from it. I mean, honestly, this year I'm not sure if I made any money. Last year I think I made like a few hundred. I'll have to check, but this year I've made none so far. And you know, to be fair, that's, again, I've paused on the business of doing that. So that's kind of like my main source of income. Back then it was last year it was affiliate marketing. And then that kind of shut down at this point with DL. I'm not sure what's going on with DL, but it's kind of like rotting a little bit from the inside. I'll just say that I need to update a few things on my bio and all this because it is a bit outdated. But sometimes I think like if I had just dropped my ego and just gotten a job, like say as like a, you know, I got an offer for to do a delivery job at the start of the year. No, at the start of 2025. Start of 2025, I think. To work as a delivery driver at Domino's, and it was a pressure from my parents to do that. But then once I realized that I didn't need to, I felt it was better to capitalize on that time to do that. And to be fair, it would have been, but only if I had actually followed through with the work that I needed to do to fully set up the agency, do outreach, be consistent. It was based on those deliverables, and I didn't meet those deliverables. So that's why I kind of had this regret now, where if I couldn't manage my time well for having more time than I'll probably ever have in my life for free, then like it would have just been better if I had just had a part-time job on the side. Something, right? Something where I'm just making a little bit of money. I'm not talking about a side hustle. I'm talking about like I follow through. Someone tells me what to do. Because clearly I can't tell myself what to do. I don't have that self-governance, right? I don't have that discipline. I don't have that consistency myself. So really that is just about saying I wish I'd dropped my ego and maybe things would have been a little bit different. Financially, I would have been doing a little bit better. I would have actually been getting more things done because it's kind of like the principle of Parkinson's law. When I have less time, I'll be able to crunch that down and to actually focus, to actually concentrate on building my agency. Even if, say, I technically had less hours, half the hours, whatever. Then if I just didn't have a job, but I was at home all day and no one told me what to do, and it was all up to me to govern myself. And what I'm saying is 2025 I really battled with complacency. You know, in general, no one telling me what to do, no one surveilling me, no one watching me, no one keeping me to a box. And I guess it got to me. It's a slow death, guys, and I hope that if anybody else is listening to this and in a similar situation where you want to start that business, unless you have genuine proof, genuine vindication that you're going to actually follow through, it may be better off to just drop the ego and work for a boss. If you cannot govern yourself, you need to have some humility to be able to admit that maybe you can't self-manage and you need somebody else to self-manage for you. So then you can start to develop your own self-managing body and will. Yeah, I just think about if I had a job, I would have been probably, I probably would have had more money. I would have focused more on my business because I had limited time, and understanding that allows me to focus and concentrate. I know what I can do under pressure. I have a tendency to procrastinate, and that's been affecting me since school. But I know what I can do when there's pressure, when there's deadlines. And this year, I've just kind of changed the trajectory of that. I still have some rigidity. I still have some consistency. I'm not like just do it whenever I want, like do my workout whenever I want, go to sleep whenever I want, play whenever I want. But it's just like I have a general gist, right? I'm kind of sitting in the middle, not too free, but not too rigid. And I think that's the right way to go. And now I want to kind of lean towards a little bit more rigidity, a little bit more focus, but still respecting the principle of being fluid, being adaptable when need be. Next one is next lesson from 2025, I guess, is being alone. Now, I'm an introvert. I'm used to being by myself, but I guess, and I'm very comfortable by myself. I think the gift that I have and the strength that I have is I've built a really strong mind. You know, I fall short in some things, of course. I'm not perfect, but for the most part, I'm very introspective. I'm very self-aware. Sometimes I surprise myself with what I know and how I go about things, and I think it's not a matter of my age. It's never been. It's been a matter of my experience and my learnings and my lessons that I've taken through reflection, and I take it as a skill. I take it as a blessing. I take that as the strongest capabilities that I have within my arsenal, to be able to see many angles, many perspectives, be understanding, be patient, have grace, all these things. And I'm grateful for that. But, you know, regardless of the fact that I'm introverted, I guess being alone got to me. I think it got to me. There's nobody here to support me. Sometimes it feels like literally nobody actually supports me. And they say one thing and they do another, and I just know that there's no one that is going to save me but myself, and I have to completely rely on myself. No one is coming to save me, and I have to do this by myself. I can still have people, support online from you guys, from accountability partners, from my community, from socializing with friends, even if they're not related to business. But I know that once I close the computer, once I close the phone, once I look around myself and my surroundings, there isn't a goddamn fucking person that is going to get me out of my situation but myself. I'm not looking for this is not a sub story. I'm not looking for empathy from this at all. I'm just saying it how it is. This is my situation. But I have hope. I have grace and I have perseverance that things will get better with time. And how I see it personally is I am in the hardest, difficult, and most difficult position that I'll ever be in my life. And I was saying this last night about like healthy stress and unnecessary stress. Since it's a full moon out, usually full moon happens towards the end of the month, and this is what I was talking about. And I was saying that I am at my weakest right now, as strong as I may think I am, as capable as I think I am. I still fall short on a lot of things, but I know that this season of my life, this time of my life, is going to be the most hardest climb, and is specifically happening at my least capable point of my life that I think I'll ever be. But I know that once I get past this mountain, it is greener on the other side. I know, of course, that to understand that things will pass, this too shall pass, that it isn't greener on the other side, of course, partly. But I know that I can't grow here. I know I can't flourish here as much as I may like to. I can't build the rest of my life here. I know that once I move out, I will be able to drop a massive weight off my shoulders and move forward and into a new chapter of my life where I get to decide where my life goes, and it's not into the control of other people. And that wherever you go, there you are. And that I'll still have to say, remove trauma, do shadow work, get therapy. I think everybody should get therapy, by the way. It's not just me. Everybody has their unique problems. Maybe they just don't see it. And it's turned into social and coping mechanisms that they feel are in good health, but to other people, but detriment themselves. And so I say that all with a optimistic but a realistic, grounded, tangible mentality where things will get better. Grass is greener on the other side for me, and it will only get easier from there once I get past it. And I'm sure it'll be the same for you. We all have those tough seasons in our life, and it's difficult. I wish things I wish things were different, but I'm just taking my life as it is. So that's on being alone. I think it got to me, and I think that's part of why I kind of came back to socializing and playing games a little bit more, loosening up. And that leads me on to my next point. I know the video is getting long, so I want to speed this up. Next thing, fourth kind of general learning lesson is having balance. Last year was about just infatuating myself with business, with mentality, with the business books and everything. And now, again, it kind of plays on with rigidity and fluidity. I want to have balance. I want to start from ground zero instead of trying to force, me being some like hyper-focused robot when I'm not. I should know my thresholds. I should know where I am now. And instead of trying to become kind of like just automatically try and like become this workhorse when I've never seen it before in my life. I start from a basic threshold. I start from the bottom, and I start from there, and I prove to myself that I can do what I can do at this level, but I can push it more. And that's, I think, how I want to go about it this year, which is having balance, starting simple, and then optimizing from there, instead of doing it the other way around and trying to act like I'm some optimized machine that can work 12 hours a day. It takes time to get there, and I'm sure I could get there at some point, but I haven't proven to myself that I could do that, even with all this time. I'm sure my situation is not necessarily any different. It's not special by any means. It's not special by any means. I think anybody in my position would deal with comfort and complacency. Being at home, nobody's telling you what to do, and it's all up to you to decide that for yourself. Especially when you're so used to, say, school, doing that. Now, to be fair, again, I learn these lessons now, but back then it made sense for me to go all in on my business. I still think that to an extent. I don't think any career is more compatible to me than anything else. I want freedom. I want autonomy. To conform to me is just not something I want to do. Not at all. But that being said, I feel like having some experience of that, as I said before when I said I wanted a job, would have actually helped. I would have probably made more money. Again, like, I don't think money is necessarily the proof of concept, but it was just more so like comparing the differences between the two. And honestly, I think a few set hours paying me a little bit of money per hour, guaranteed, was a little bit of security, would have probably had me financially better off. And I probably still wouldn't be being able to work on the business on the side. It wouldn't take everything from me. Sure, it would maybe drain my energy a little bit, but I don't think that would ever stop me. So, balance, fluidity, all these things, reflecting on it has allowed me to kind of go in the opposite direction. And now I'm kind of optimizing and reintegrating and learning to balance things now. I think balance is truly key to everything. And I think the people who kind of hustle their ass off and nothing else, they're a little bit too rigid, and they got to have some fluidity. And in the same way, the people who are too fluid and there's no structure, nothing actually materializes, I would urge them to go on the opposite end and learn how to have some rigidity. I think it is a balance. And the last thing is just kind of wraps everything up, which is to focus on fundamentals. I try to worry about the complexities of everything and overthink everything without having solidified a foundation, the fundamentals for myself. And I guess in this case, the complexities would be having consistent content creation, deliverables, working on my business, outreach, agency, having a clear, straightforward plan, following through with it. Because when I tried to work on those things, I end up getting pulled back because sleep messed up, and so I overslept. Now I've done my workout late, now I'm eating late, now I'm sleeping late because I didn't get much done throughout the day. I didn't have enough focus. And that was just a constant recurring and vicious cycle that was like putting me in, it was dragging me from thinking from a high level to just going back down to the basics. And it just felt like I was not getting anywhere. I was making marginal progress, but like sometimes I could work in a week, and it was more than what I got done in a few months. And yeah, it's just, I couldn't have done more, but in the same way, I couldn't, because I was struggling with just the fundamentals. So that's what this year is about. It's about me stepping back from all these things and not reaching those until I hit the thresholds that I want to hit, the standards, reaching the standards and establishing the standards to be able to power myself through and do those things at a high level consistently and with the same input and same output. So that's been kind of my learning lessons from 2025. I might make a longer video, but for now, that's my learning lessons. And that has led to this year socializing more, being more fluid, being more adaptive, actually working with and finding structure in the chaos, as I'd like to describe it. And though I haven't gotten a job, I'm going to interest myself in applying for a few remote roles and just see what happens. And yeah, just other than that, same stuff, buying bits and bobs, gear that I would love to show you guys, cool stuff. And yeah, I'd love to catch you guys up at some point, hopefully maybe in the next 3 months, or maybe in the next month, just depending on my output. But for now, that's been the timeline from, I guess, the last video from to now in July 2026. I think that's about it. And alright, so that being said, plans for after this video is I want to get rid of the backlogged videos from my videos folder on my computer. I think there's about 22 gigabytes and around 5 to 10 videos, and it's taking a lot of space, and I need to clear it in order to have not only my laptop function properly, but as I've always been dealing with storage constraints for a long time now. But yeah, I just want to remove all this backlogged videos, and that means getting out the videos, like editing them, even though they're from 2025. I will make it clear that it is 2025 or whatever the timestamp is, and give it to you guys. But I just want to get those videos out, and just show you where I kind of left off at before I guess disappeared for 9 months. And that's a part of the clearing storage kind of operation that I'm in. I'm also clearing storage for my phone. I have about like 64 gigabytes of storage, and it is at 57, around 57 last time I checked. But this is all imperative to me being able to not only record videos, but then upload the videos, which take a lot of space, import videos, export videos, etc, etc. You get the gist. Especially on my phone when I'm trying to record vlogs and I want to do it in a different format, more personal format, where I'm showing you guys kind of my day-to-day. I need my phone to be storage free at all times, to not only record but then have just as much space to export, and that's going to be a constant battle. But at the moment it's good for now. It's just, unfortunately, you know, when you like save things for later, you download videos. I've been trying to cut back on that and really question, like, what am I saving this for if I'm not going to apply it in the present moment, or save it for another day, and just like move all this stuff out of my phone, either to my computer on Google where it doesn't take that much space, or just delete it straight up instead of collecting dust and me not actually applying it, which has been really frustrating. And I've just hit a tipping point where I don't want to save anymore, or not too much anymore. I've kind of moderated it now, but still got a lot of work to do. So that's one of my plans starting August. Next one would be to catch up on event work. So past events, tools. I want to collate a lot of tools and build the 2026 arsenal that I want to have to move the next 6 months forward and make up for the last 6 months of socializing and just playing and not really having too much, say, pressure to work on those things, and just kind of get the car running again. So after that's done, that'll kind of blend into goal setting, where I guess I'm just gonna light a candle and sit down and write my goals. Probably keep it generally the same, keep it actionable, keep it within the same formula as I know best. But I guess the only difference is just I feel like the goal reports were unsolicited, and they felt repetitive, and they took a lot of my bandwidth from being able to create the actual content that I wanted to create. And I guess that was probably part of my reason for kind of losing the drive and dropping the ball on content creation. So honestly, I feel like this year, well, the next 6 months, I should just take that time to myself to keep my goals private and just work on them by myself and have self-accountability for them. Maybe even bring in an accountability partner if possible. But for now, I think to spare both of us saving some time, I think that'll be the last of goal reports for now. I may share my goals, but I think doing goal reports is something that I should just follow through with through action and not tracking and data and all this, when I can probably just see it on a day-to-day basis and then extrapolate that over, say, a week, month, quarter, 6 months, 2 quarters, so on and so on. So that's it. That's it for now. But pretty much what you can expect is the next few videos, I think 5 or 10 or so videos, to be from last year. There was definitely a very important video that I wanted to get out, but I couldn't, and I'll just upload it kind of in any order, just so then I can clear up, because I know this one specific video where I ran a lot, like about 3/4 of a marathon, around that, for a fundraiser. That's a really big video, and I may just have to get the vlogs out, and I'll try to keep it in chronological order. But yeah, at the end of the day, the intention is I need to just get the videos out, flush out the backlogged videos and content and film, and then give that space, have that space free, so that I can add new ones and start recording content again for 2026. So that is about it for now. Yeah, just understand that like videos take a lot of time, and while I do enjoy putting effort into content creation, I guess the boring, demeaning work can be a little bit dull at sometimes. I love to, like, you know, I guess with, you say, little side tangent, this year, listening to music intentionally, I love to kind of express in the same way music into my videos, which capture the right scenario, the right feeling that I may feel at that moment or at that time. And so I do enjoy content creation, but I guess sometimes the dull moments, or like editing the goal reports, just felt like when I wasn't meeting my standard, I was letting you guys down. And I guess that kind of was like a self-repeating cycle, where I then didn't feel like I had the drive to follow through with the thing. And it was tough when I had these deliverables, but yet it demanded that of me every single day, when even some days I didn't start in the same way. I didn't start my day on the same time, get this thing done on time, whatever it is, or I had this thing pop up. And so it never accounted for that. And I think that's the flaw of rigidity. And that's why I leaned over to adaptability, fluidity. So that's enough for now. Hope you got something out of it. Yeah, content creation takes a lot. I would much rather appreciate if you guys can head over to my Instagram, and that's where I'll just be able to upload kind of daily stories, and I'm trying to do more posts, appreciation posts, or just parts of my life, and just express it through like the captions. That's definitely more easier to do, of course, than put out full videos, which takes hours upon hours of editing and then making thumbnails and uploading with the title and exporting, and it puts my laptop on standby. It puts my phone on standby when I'm importing, and just know it takes time. It's a constant investment, while just social media is easier. So instead of waiting for me to upload here, just follow me on Instagram. Just watch my daily life there when I put in stories, because it's more convenient. But yeah, hey ho, it's part of life. And what I've learned is that life is not linear. Growth is not linear. It's exponential, but it's steady. It's rocky. It can be up some days, it could be down some days, but so long as I keep on trying every single day and getting a little bit done every single day when I can, and optimizing that, of course, over time, my growth will be exponential. And I'll look 3 months, 6 months, 12 months from now and be grateful that I did better, that I got things done. So yeah, that applies the same way to you guys. Growth is not linear, and don't expect it in that way. Yeah, this is just the path that I think a lot of people beginners in online business and in general face, which is that there is no clear path to success. And even when it's laid out for you, you still have to go through your own battles, and you still have to go and deal with your own personal things. And yeah, just don't think that like your life is gonna be clear and secure and stable and constant like your job maybe. We all kind of reflect our lives off our jobs, and I feel like that's not the right way to go. But in the same way, yeah, like our job and our life are two very different things. And there's a part of surviving, there's a part of just doing what you need to do in order to have the means to survive, and then actually living it, right? Survival will always be a constant need. Check that off. But when it comes to living, for everybody, there isn't necessarily a playbook. It's not demanded of everybody to work on their health, or to even know what they may be struggling with. But you understand that life in general is not linear whatsoever. And it's instead you taking one step, 1 foot at a time, every single day, and figuring out the next step, and just trying to move forward, even if you don't see the full picture. And so long as you do that, you will grow over time. You will prosper, and you will be better off than you were 3 months ago, 6 months ago. A lot can happen, truly, in those times. A lot can happen, but it's just a matter of focus and input and making progress, regardless of the pace. As I guess Warren Buffett said, it doesn't matter how hard you row, but the boat that you're in. So that being said, I've ranted for too long now. See you guys later. Expect backlogged videos, and then after that we'll figure it out from there. Peace. See you guys later. Bye bye.